Okay. Hey, everybody. Debbi Starr here, and I am super excited. This is a little different type of video than what I normally have. I have two of my favorite people here, Andrea and Mel, and they are part of the Spreadsheetable team, which you're going to learn all about that in a minute. I work with people that are just starting out in their business all the way up to, they've been in business for a while and they're trying to scale their business. And I'm always fascinated when I watch people's businesses grow. And I have been around these ladies from the get-go, from when Andrea first was starting it. And again, I just have to say, so impressed with the growth and the products and the services. I mean, they're not paying me to say this. I belong to their memberships. I love it. So I thought it would be fun and very encouraging, especially for people just starting out in the business. So why don't we just take a brief minute, just introduce yourselves, tell us like where you live and all that kind of stuff. Then we'll jump into how you got started. So Andrea, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you so much, Debbie. Hi, everyone. So my name is Andrea. I am in North Carolina, United States, and I've I don't know. I've met Debbie. Yeah, what was it? March was last year, right? March. Our business is like a year old, year and a half old now. So I met Debbie right in the beginning of the journey when I just started the business and I was building everything from the ground up. Um, and it was just, I don't know, everything looked so new and so, I always wanted to have my own business. That's how everything started. So let's backtrack a bit. I've always tried every kind of like side hustle. I've sold on Amazon, I've sold on Etsy, I've sold on, I flipped stuff from from flea markets. I've done everything that you can possibly imagine to ever since I had a kid, right? Back in 2013. Ever since.
So let me jump in because a lot of the people that I work with, they're moms, and just being a mom is a full-time job in itself. And so you've worked and you have three kiddos, right?
Yes, I have three
Yes,
now.
yes.
Full
So
house.
yeah, so go ahead, continue with your story.
Yeah, so I had my first kid in 2013, and ever since I had him, I was like, I was working in office. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to stay home with my baby. Um, and this is how it all started. So I've always tried to find a way to make money on this side so I could stay home with my baby. That's how it all started, right? And then I first found out about Etsy and then eBay, and then it evolved into the Amazon FBA, right? There's like many ways to make money online, but I wanted to find a way. I wanted something. um so then from there I had my second child, and then that was in 2015. And I was doing, but everything was very physical product, right? I was doing a lot of I started actually sewing by hand. I was doing like quiet books for babies. It and the thing is, like, now that I look back on my journey, every product that I ever created was to solve a problem that I had, right? So when I first had my baby, I needed to entertain him. And I had like when I was pregnant, I was doing all this like I don't know, you become very crafty when you're pregnant. You want to do everything for your baby, right? Like yourself. So I started sewing these little books made out of felt. And then I was like, okay, so I'm going to, if I need it, if I like it, they were really cute. I was like, maybe other people will want it. So that's how it all started.
Okay.
Um,
So I'm going to stop you right there. Any students out there that are paying attention, anybody who's thinking, the number one thing is you have to identify a problem. And I always say a lot of times we are our ideal client, either right now or 2 years ago. We are struggling with something. And if we come up with the solution, then there you go, your business is born. All
yeah,
right, continue.
yeah. And there it's actually something that we struggled, not struggled, but like it wasn't as clear as it is now that we are, far in this journey as we are right now. But you are this is how, like, if you don't know what you want to sell, if you don't know what product you want to make, just think you are your niche, right? Everything that you need, somebody somewhere in the world will need it too, right? So think about it. What do you need? Like, okay, maybe I'm a mom, I just had a baby. Maybe I'm trying to, random, but I'm trying to lose weight right after I have a baby. Somebody, other moms in there are also wanting that, right? And then um creating start working with digital products, right? It evolved into digital products. I'll get to that, but it was a thing that it was like, once all of that, like, okay, let me backtrack. So the sewing thing, I had the baby, I sold, like, people would pay me $100 for this like felt books, and it was like something really cheap. Like, we go to Walmart and you buy like the 50 cents, felt sheet, but then it was a lot of labor sewing the little things, and I was doing it by hand. I didn't have a sewing machine, and I don't know how to sew. So that became very it became not doable anymore, right? Because now I
Not
had
scalable.
not scalable. I had that newborn needing me 24/7. I had those orders coming in, and I just started like freaking out, have like anxiety. I was like, nope, can't do it. Shut everything and put it in the trash. So then I moved on to other things. And then in 2022, it was right before Spreadsheetables. A year or two before, 2 years before Spreadsheetables, I opened a Etsy shop, which was doing party supplies. And that started because, again, my kid at the time, he was turning 7, I think, and he wanted a birthday party about one of the YouTubers that he liked at the time. And I couldn't find anything online. It's like, dang it, that's a problem, right? Like, where he really wants this birthday party, this theme for his birthday party, and there's nothing out there. So I bought that Cricut machine, the cutting thing, and I did everything personalized. And he had his party. He was super excited. I was like, okay, if I need this, my kid is watching this YouTuber, the other people, they want that too. So I put it online and it blew up, right? Don't do that though. I didn't know at the time that's like infringing copyright. Don't take that. But anyways, like, it was a problem, right? That, I think, again, another business was born out of a problem that I had.
Yes.
So then from that, once I, came to mind
Well,
that I could
and let me jump in again, because I think lesson number 2 is you recognize, at least for what you were trying to do, the first business wasn't scalable based on what your lifestyle wanted. And everybody's situation is different, but for you, you knew, okay, I need to move over to something digital. And
yeah,
then, just like you said, you started again, I applaud you because you weren't afraid to jump into like new arenas. You probably hadn't sold on Etsy before, but
yeah,
you saw other people were using that platform. So then you jumped in. So, I
yeah.
mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm not afraid of starting. I love starting a business. I think that's actually a problem because I have so many ideas. I want to start all the businesses. But
That's
and I
why they say so many people kind of, I guess, fail or jump around because they're in that business. They get excited about something. It's going up, it's going up. They hit a hard place and they're like, oh, you know what? It's easier to start over again with a different business.
yeah,
So like the example you're showing today is like, don't take that as, people often do that just for like the shiny object syndrome, but
yeah,
you were doing it because it's like, it wasn't a scalable business
wasn't
for you, what you want for your family, right?
That's actually a good point. So yeah, so backtracking a bit. So I jumped from the felt thing. That didn't work because I didn't have time to sew. I was like, okay, what else can I do? So then I started selling stuff on eBay, but I didn't really put a lot into it. And then that's when Amazon FBA came into play, which was that boom, right? Oh, Amazon FBA, you just grab everything, put it in a box, send it to Amazon, they will do the shipping for you. I was like, oh, amazing. Sounds like a great business for a mom. Um, Boy, was it a lot of work. Holy macaroni, I'll tell you that much. Like, not saying it doesn't work, it works, right? If you do it correctly, it works. But one, to get to the point to send your stuff to the Amazon warehouse, there's a lot of work in that, right? And Amazon has a lot of rules. Amazon has a lot of fees, right? So it's like all this work, sure, the shipping part is automated, but all this work beforehand for like a very short, very little profit margin, right? So I did that for a little bit because
I would say I'll jump in. I also did Amazon, and what I tell people is it can be very lucrative. Things have changed once Amazon opened up the doors to certain countries, and I had actually created, like custom created. We found a manufacturer in Pakistan. We were making football gloves, and they were being shipped straight to Amazon. So we kind of cut out some of those steps. But with Amazon, you really have to have your big boy pants on and be willing to spend not just the time, but money. So again, all of these things are learning lessons, right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and Amazon, yeah, you're right. Amazon has different routes. Like you can ship it from your home, right? Doing the FBM. You can ship to Amazon doing the FBA, and you can do the wholesale, which is you find a supplier and ship to the Amazon. But then normally people work with Chinese suppliers, right? And you work with that supplier, and so does 10,000 other people. So then there's a lot of like cutting on Amazon. Everybody's like a race to the bottom pricing wise. So like you put all this work, all this research, all of this, and it just like for you to end up being cut off by somebody that doesn't really care about profit or whatever it is. And maybe they get it cheaper than you do, right? You don't know what the reasoning is for cutting so low, but they do. And it's very annoying. so it's like, okay, great. This is not scalable. Like my house was a mess, right? I had boxes everywhere. I had like, because I was doing the, we call retail arbitrage. So like I went to the supermarket, bought a bunch of stuff, went home, do the label, do this, put it in the box. It was a mess. So I was like, okay, not scalable. What's next? Right? So this, and you have to understand, like Mel said, yes, people will jump from business to business, but there's a fine line between understanding if you should stop what you're doing and move into other things, right? To me, that was like my husband was getting mad that the house was a mess, like the kids were getting my stash. It was just like, it didn't work for me.
Yes.
Right? And I was okay, like it took a while because I put a lot of like work and like time, like learning, and right, I was like, you know what, this is just not scalable. And that's where I'm like, okay, what can I do next?
Yeah.
And
And let me jump in because I really applaud your vision. You knew that you wanted to create a business that you could do at home around your lifestyle. And again, everybody's lifestyle is different. And so it wasn't a matter of, okay, this failed or I gave up too soon. You just knew what your vision was and you stuck with it. And you just kept saying, okay, I'm going to try this, I'll try this, and then just move forward. That was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and then that's when I started the Etsy also. It was kind of simultaneously with Amazon. So my house was really messy. Because on Etsy, once I moved on from the whole copywriting thing, I started selling just like normal party supplies, right? Little cups in here and there, like little mermaids, dinosaurs, right? Just general stuff that wasn't infringing anybody's copyright. And that blew up. So that business I grew in 1 year and a half. I think I've sold like revenue. Okay, let's talk about revenue and profit. There's two different things, two different numbers. Okay, in the physical business, selling party supplies, I've made in revenue almost 130,000 in 1.5 years. Okay, of sales. I had 130,000 in sales. But out of that big number, I had shipping, I had my supply, right? The cost, the material cost. I had all of that stuff, plus the labor, right? Included, because I was getting all of those orders. And then I had to take the time away from my family, from my kids, right? My kids would be like in between those boxes. And again, it just became so like, it was great. I loved doing it. But then also the shipping got really old really fast. It was exciting at first. But then you're like, oh, I could be doing like, I could be creating, I could be doing something else, but I'm stuck, sealing boxes.
Yeah.
Could I have
So
hired somebody? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I'm going to jump in again because I just want to make sure people are capturing these nuggets. And thank you for your transparency, and people pay attention. Again, there is a difference between um, revenue and profit. So people watch YouTube videos, they see all this stuff on the internet. Well, I'm a seven-figure earner, but what people don't realize is these huge machines that are pumping out that much, they also have a huge back end that they have to feed the beast. So make sure that, and later on we'll get into numbers. You have to know your numbers and just recognize. Don't just say, well, they made 100,000. How come I can't do that? That's not what ended up in your pocket. So
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Very important. Correct. So I had all of that money coming in and then all of that work. And then in the end, what the profit was, we went from this to like this, right? Could I have hired somebody to come and do the shipping for me? I could have, but it would be cutting again out of my profit, right? And then in the end, the whole math, it was just like, do I really want to put all this work again, the same Amazon thing, right? Huge numbers, this profit. Do I really want to get into that? Like my time is more valuable than that. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Something else. Move on. And that's when I found digital products. And I'm like, it actually started with the party thing. I was like, okay, maybe I could make other things, because people were asking me like, oh, do you have invites? Do you have this? So then I wanted to do that, but then I don't know, it just got really, it wasn't my passion, right? Like doing the party thing, like I'm not even a very sociable person, like in person with people. Like I'm not a party planner, so to me, like it just wasn't my thing. I was like, okay, then so what else can I do that it's digital? And then that's when, I realized that people were actually selling spreadsheets. And I've been using spreadsheets like my entire life, literally, from every single job that I've ever done. I've always found a way to put spreadsheets, incorporate spreadsheets into it. And then when I realized that I could monetize that, it's like, whoa. And that is something that like I've been doing my whole life, right? And what the spreadsheets do, it solves the problem, right? It automates things for me. It gives me the numbers that I need to see, because if you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, then you don't have a business. I'm sorry. That's the truth.
Yes.
People are like, oh, but I'm making sales. This is great. But if you're making sales again and you have all this other stuff cutting into your profit, are you really making money? Right.
So I just have to jump in, make sure people are paying attention to this nugget. If you follow your passion, so a lot of times I will have people do like a little passion inventory. What do you like? And what's easy for you to do? And
Yeah.
just like you said, you've used spreadsheets your whole adult life, and it's something that you enjoy. A lot of times what we're good at, because it comes so easy, we think, well, nobody would pay for that. That
Yeah.
usually is the indicator. If it's easy for you, look around. And if people have even asked you, oh, how did you do that? That is a great indicator that maybe you're onto something. And that passion, if you're really passionate about it, you're going to stick with it versus something else, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's the party thing. The party thing had great potential, but it just wasn't there for me. I didn't see myself sitting there and like planning events, pretending that I'm this great event planner when I'm sitting here in my room, not doing anything really, not having a social life. So to me, that wasn't it. And it's not sustainable long term. You want to think of something that is sustainable and long term. And this is true. Like it's something that's like, wow, would somebody really, really pay me to do spreadsheets? Like seriously, And I don't know. Yeah, it's something that you like. It's something that people, come to you and ask you to teach them how to do it. Like even little thing like, whoa, how did you, like you're having a conversation with your friends, like, wow, how did you do this? And you're like, really? This is so easy. That's what people want to know. And people want easy. Don't think about, when you think about creating a business, don't complicate things. People don't buy complicated things because people don't want to, we already have a lot in our heads, right? In our brains every day, every time. As a mom, really, like I'm so overwhelmed and so like touched out. I don't want anything complicated in my life anymore. So if you're offering this huge program, this huge thing that I'll have to take, it would take me like days to complete, or it's like, I'm sorry, I'm walking away, now give me something that I can do. My kid's sleeping right now, right? He's taking a nap. Give me something that I can do in his nap time, then we'll talk. Then you have my money. Right? It's something that will solve my problem in that 1 hour a day that I have free, you know. And this is this was my whole goal, like for since 2013. So it's been, over 10 years now. And um I've always wanted that thing that would allow me to stay home and be present, because I was working from home before this business, took off. I was working from home, but it was like a very demanding desk job that, I had one to ask permission to people to go pick up my kids if he was sick in school. And then there's that whole like awkward moments, right? You're like, I'm gonna have to go to my boss again. The boss is gonna be like, oh, can it be fast? Or, like big corporations, they don't care about families. I'm sorry, it's true. And I've actually, okay, so I worked for a year simultaneously, right, on my very demanding job from home, but very demanding, and the business. And then I had my baby this past January, and my big fancy corporation job didn't pay maternity leave for me. I had 12 weeks to stay home with the baby, but it was one unpaid. I had to take FMLA because, by law, I guess they had to give me the 12 weeks. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have. Right. And I had a C-section, and like the whole, after you have a kid, like your whole body changed, the hormones and, the physical, and then there's the newborn, and then there's the rest of your family. It's so overwhelming that 12 weeks is not enough, right? That's what, 3 months? What do you do in 3 months? Like you recover in 3 months physically, right? Barely. So I wanted something that would not take that time away from my kids. And then, but also, again, the bills don't care either. So
Right.
they have to be paid. But, this business finally, I was finally able to quit my job. I stayed this 3 months from home, and I'm like, sorry, I'm not coming back, because I don't see myself sitting in the computer from 8 to 5, having to ask permission to go out and feed my kid, right? Or having to go permission to pick up my kids from school. Or, it was summer. Um, During summer, my kids weren't in school. I didn't have to pay thousands of dollars. Like I have 3 kids now. That would be like, I don't even know, over $5,000 a month. Like I didn't even make that much in my job to pay for daycare. So it was just, it was just not doable. And I don't know. Life is hard for working moms,
Yeah.
right?
And let me say this also, the dream of, we see pictures of people sitting on the beach with their computer. Well, first of all, I would never take my computer to the beach because I don't want it filled, full of sand and not be able to use it. But the perception is you have an online business and it's easy peasy. Now with systems and the right structure, you can definitely work part-time and have a full-time income. That is definitely doable. But I think what most, especially moms, what they're looking for is, again, that flexibility to live your life and build this business around your life and not the other way around. And so with Spreadsheetables, what did you have like a vision? Like, okay, I'm just gonna like create certain kind of spreadsheets, or because your spreadsheets are so unique because they're so beautiful and so easy to use, and they're very targeted to the purpose. That's what I really love. So did you have that vision of what you wanted, or did it kind of move into that once you saw the reaction?
Yeah, no, so it all started actually with again solving a problem, right? We had this, it was Black Friday. We were participating in this market, right? Marketplace, like digital marketplace. And then they're like, okay, you need a product to sell if you want to be in the marketplace. I'm like, okay, so what can I make? So I was still selling on Etsy, other stuff. And then I was like, okay, so what is my problem right now? I procrastinate a lot to create the Etsy listings, right? There's the title, there's the keyword research, there's this, there's that. You can repeat this, you can do that. So I created a generator, like a spreadsheet that's kind of like generated a title out of your keywords. It would tell you if you repeated this keyword. There's a whole thing behind Etsy, but long story short, you don't want to repeated keywords. So then the spreadsheet would filter all the repeated keywords and tell me, hey, this is repeated. You want to change this one, right? Find another keyword for this. So then
I know, sorry to keep interrupting, but again, if people need to pay attention to these nuggets that you're sharing. So you, in your business, you recognized basically a pattern. So every time you wanted to list something on Etsy, you had to go through these certain steps. And so I'm always telling people, I laugh and I say systems is my middle name. If you do something more than twice, and it's going to be an ongoing thing, then you need to develop a system. And a system means it's a deliberate decision on how you're going to do something versus a habit. Most people, especially in the online space, they develop habits. Okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, but they never proactively say, what is the best way, the best system? And so with your own product, you recognized a mini problem in the sense of you procrastinated because you knew it was like a lot of work. Okay, first I have to do this. Oh, did I remember to do everything? Oh, what about the keywords? What about this? So then you designed a system using your spreadsheets to help you and then continue with the story.
Yeah, and you're right. Everything that you do more than once, so we'll get there. But it's something that I was procrastinating because I already knew all of those steps that I would have to take. So my brain would be like, no, 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 you're not working on this big thing right now. So, and that spreadsheet just took all of that away. And then I participated in this marketplace, and it was like a $7 product, right? Um, so within that Black Friday week or weekend, I forget the timeline, but it was like a short timeline, just Black Friday promotions. Um, I've sold over $500, right, in profit. Now, $500 from a product that I created once. What did I get? I got $500. Right? Of course, there's like I had to host it on the website, so maybe I pay like $10 for the hosting, right? But there's no overhead, there's no material, there's no shipping.
It's
There was
an
no,
evergreen at this point, right?
and it was evergreen, and I created once, and it kept selling. And then I still sold like all the other times, like after Black Friday. But to me, what really sold me on that was the whole, wow, I created once and I made $500. Like that was just like mind blown to me. And then from there, you get addicted. Just warning, you get addicted to making sales, okay? Because again, it's something that you create once, and then when you hear the cha-ching, right, from Etsy or from Stripe or from whatever it is that you're selling, it's like it doesn't get old. It just doesn't, right? It's something that you get really proud of it, and when you make the things like, wow, like my product is actually solving other people from, and it's not about the money. That's the thing, at least not with me. Yes, the money is important. Yes, I have mouths to feed, but it is the satisfaction of knowing, like you say, like we help you help your people. So we're kind of like creating this chain events, right, of helping. You're solving problems down the line.
Yes.
Right. And that's the whole point of this, for me at least. It's that satisfaction of knowing that you are doing good right? And you're helping somebody. And I don't know, it's just
But and the people, I like to say the people that I love working with are those what I call the heart-centered entrepreneurs. You're passionate about something. You're really like kind of an educator and a creator, but you want to make a difference in other people's lives. And like you said, yes, money's important, but I'm not out here to make $1 million.
yeah,
I just want to take care of my family and have the lifestyle. And then you, like you said, it is addicting. When people say, "Oh, I love this," it's like, "Oh, this is great." It's just very
yeah.
satisfying.
Yeah, when somebody, yeah, when you get the feedback, the testimonials, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, this was great. And it's very, very satisfying. I don't have the right word for that, but yeah. But
So
now,
go
to
ahead.
live the lifestyle, talk about the lifestyle. Yes, now, today, like a year and a half later, or if you want to really count on my business journey, 10 years later, now I am able to work when my baby's sleeping. Now I am. But it took a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and everything else. I sacrificed time away from my kids, right? My kids are sitting here, sure, they're playing, but I wasn't present with them, right? Because I was working from my 8 to 5 on my desk job, from 5 to probably, I don't know, like 12, or I would like go to bed earlier and wake up at like 2 3 a.m. and then work on my business and have to be ready again for dropping my kids off in school, and then go into my desk job. And then so this did not come easy. I'm not somebody saying, hey, you can make 6 figures. We hit our 6 figures. We're officially a 6 figure business, but digital business. But then it didn't come easy. Like, I'm not saying, hey, create this product, put it online, you're gonna make $100,000 tomorrow and you can go live on the beach, right? It's not that. And I do live on the beach, and you're right, I would never take my computer to the beach. That is a lie. I would never.
Yeah, yeah.
The wind
So
will destroy it.
so speaking of success, and congratulations to the point that you started out on your own, and then Mel was introduced to your business. So first of all, Mel's a multi-business owner, I think, from what I understand. So give us a little background about you, and then how, Andrea, you decided, or what prompted you that, okay, now it's time to take on a partner.
Yeah, thanks, Debbie. I'm so glad to be here. My name is Melinda. I live in Ontario, Canada. I'm probably like one of the oddballs. Everybody's American in our communities and things, but there's a couple Canadians. So, yeah. And I guess it all started. We were kind of in the same groups, the same like circles, and I saw Andrea had launched a DIY Google Sheets membership. And of course I think I was one of the founding members. So I like jumped on the opportunity right away. And I went in, and she had created like a walkthrough video of creating this habit tracker. And I'm like a total like sheets nerd. So same as Andrea, I've always used spreadsheets. I used to work at a Fortune 500 company as a consultant, and I would use spreadsheets to, look at quality concerns and make a correlation to the injuries that's happening on the job. Or I would put together injury data and say, okay, we need to go and fix some of these jobs. I used it for so many things. I used it for reporting to the president and all of those things. And so here's this like massive company. And sure, you could have software and all these other things, but it was all like based on spreadsheets is what we used all the time. And so I was a total spreadsheet nerd. And then we have a couple of family businesses. And of course, I've taken that skill set into there using spreadsheets. And then, yeah, so I was in Andrea's membership, and I did this like habit tracker video, and I thought it was really cool. Like, it still is really cool. Kind of like, I know how it works, but it kind of like blows my mind that you can do that in Sheets, right? Where the image changes as you complete your tasks, and it's really rewarding. And so I took that concept, and completely flipped it into something else. I can't remember what it was. Yours was a habit tracker, and mine was like a
The
digital
productivity
product
tracker.
progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like tracked your progress for digital products or something like that. Um, And so doing that, I guess my thought of like flipping it, because quite often people will just copy exactly. I have an art background, so I did 4 years of a specialized art program in high school. And so it was like ingrained in me that you just don't copy people. So whenever I do something, you put your own spin on it. And then I guess that caught Andrea's eye. She saw me in the circles and I was like, I don't know, doing helpful things or posting like mock-ups for things. And that kind of, I guess, caught her eye. And I remember she reached out to me and it was like a Friday and was like, hey, do you want to talk on a Monday? And it was like very vague. And I was like kind of nervous. I'm like, I don't really know this person, but
It's like, oh no, I'm in trouble. What did I do?
she's reaching out to me. And so we chatted on Monday and she had this like amazing idea to take Spreadsheetables to the next level of like creating done for you products that we can help other people with. And she just like went right for it. She was like, we'll be 50-50 partners and like all of this stuff. And I was like, I was so excited about the opportunity, but she remembers this. I didn't say yes right away. So I have this like I am like an overthinker, which is maybe good sometimes where I'm thinking like I don't know this person. Like you want to make sure they have good work ethic and like all these things, like a partnership is like a huge thing, right? But and then from there, I still didn't really say yes, but we kept talking about, okay, here's what we're going to do. And we were like all excited building it. And it was just
Yes,
this
already.
yeah, it was just like a natural yes. Like, I guess I wanted to see how things were going to work and flow. And like, I couldn't have asked for like a better partnership. Like, I'm blown away. Never would I have like thought this like would work out so well. Like, we just like fill in each other's gaps, but we also we have the same skill sets, but also there's like this crossover where we fill each other in. Um, yeah, and I think my excitement for this is it was coming from spreadsheets. I had that like skill set. I love them. I'm a data nerd. I love numbers. But also I had actually started an Etsy shop 9 years ago with spreadsheets and they were selling. And I always tell people this story because it was the learning lesson for me that I let a couple people didn't understand the business at the time. A lot of people didn't understand digital products and selling them, and that's such a weird concept. And I was selling a few here and there, and somebody had said to me like some negative comments on like, you're wasting your time, that's stupid, like, and I think I let that get to me and then I didn't, continue. I should have kept like listing and doing those things. And I let those thoughts get to me and I let that whole thing drop. And in hindsight, if I had stuck with it, because it was something I was passionate about, I liked it. I was making, like, it wasn't a lot of sales, but I was making sales, which was kind of like proving that idea could be working. Like, imagine if I had started that 9 years ago and like stuck with it, man, like
Year and
my
year,
mind
man.
just like is
And
blown by that, but I'm older and hopefully wiser now to know that like you got to ignore those people. You got to block that out and you got to go with like your guts and your numbers and what's working and know that every business is hard when you start it. So you kind of have to, if you hit that wall of like a business is hard, but you enjoy it and you see some evidence that it's going to work, you need to push through that and not let those things stop you. So
yeah. So let me just cap on that a little nugget, super important. You've got to push through it. I love that. And look at the evidence and pay attention to what your heart's telling you. Don't pay attention to what other people are saying. I think that's the hardest thing with online business is because it's so easy for people to make snarky comments, right? But it gets into our head. So we need to just put blinders on. And as you said, just look at the evidence. Well, I've sold it. So there must be out of however many billions of people, there must be a few other people that want it. So just keep moving forward. Yeah. So go ahead.
yeah.
That's a great
And like
point.
some tips for you guys to protect your headspace and all of those things is like you either block those people out of your life, like if they're continuously bringing you down in so many other ways, like just get rid of them. And then the other thing is if it's like somebody that's close to you and you enjoy them and all of those things, but maybe you know their reaction to things, you just don't share as much, right? I find we as business owners always want to be like sharing. We work alone, you want to be sharing with other people, but they don't relate because they don't have a business and they don't understand. But then they have all this advice that they think they know better. Well, if you know that, like, don't share that stuff with them. I know it's hard. You want a business bestie, but go find a business bestie elsewhere.
Yeah, family is not the best place.
Yes, and
Right?
I'm living proof of that. My husband did not support any of it, none of the bit. I think because the whole when I first started, all the the whole shipping, the sewing, all of my other business took so much time away from him, especially, right? So like when we could be spending time together, I was doing shipping, I was doing boxes, I was doing this, I was doing that. So he kind of got in his brain, like it was kind of his like arch enemy, like that business and me do not mix, right? So I didn't have that support from the closest person to me, right? Did I let that stop me? Heck no. I mean, if you know me, you know that nobody, that's why I think that's why I never really did well, like, wanting to work for corporations, because I never wanted people telling me what to do. I'm just like that, like, don't tell me what to do. Let me do my own thing. If I'm gonna learn from my mistakes, I'm gonna learn from my mistakes, but don't tell me what to do. But yeah, don't what I did, like my solution was to not even tell him anything, right? What are you doing? I'm working on my business. I kept it very short, very basic. He didn't know until we started making money, right? Until
Then
I
all
went
of a
to
sudden,
quit my
yes.
job and still pay the bills. Now he's a believer,
Yeah.
right? Now he's like, whoa, this is really cool. I was
Yeah.
like, no, duh. So, like people will not believe in you. And it's not even, sometimes it's not even, it doesn't come from a bad place. Like they don't have bad intentions, or they don't want it's actually the opposite. They're trying to protect you, right? They don't know anything about the digital world, right? People didn't know that spreadsheets could help people, right? They don't know better. So they are trying to protect you. And by protecting you, they're putting stuff in your head that if you can like put the blinds on and continue on your journey, you're gonna not succeed, and you're gonna be like end up like Mel. Like she could have had the most the top
Biggest
number one
spreadsheet shop ever.
Yeah, that's right.
top
And
0.001% Etsy seller, right? But
so
people get in her head.
yeah, I would say, Mel, so we kind of cut you off there. So continue. I think you were sharing a couple of other tips with us, or
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so when Andrea had this like opportunity and she kind of pitched me on the idea, I obviously like just jumped on it because it felt like this like serendipitous moment of like redeeming myself from my past life and like going ahead with that idea that so many people told me I couldn't do. So, yeah, once I joined with her, it was hard. Like it was hard getting going, like with our vault. So we created to get the VIP membership. At the time we had just the DIY membership that people could join, but we needed to launch the VIP membership, which was a vault full of these hundreds of products that people could rebrand and sell. And so we did this like massive push to load it with clip art to support the digital products, but then the Google Sheets and all the other resources, the mock-ups, trying to make it as easy as possible. And also looking back at the spreadsheet shop that I had started 8-9 years ago, I wish I had some sort of support because as you have kids and do all those things, it is hard to keep up. Some people suggest listing multiple times a week. I would say at least once a week if you can. But sometimes with like spreadsheets, that's hard because it takes us weeks sometimes to make one, like especially if we're doing, testing and using it ourselves and making sure it has all the features. So we've definitely created something that would have helped, the Melinda 9 years ago that needed support as well as getting that business going, right?
yeah.
So yeah, it was
So again, it's just awesome to see how you guys have evolved. And So tell us a little bit about the memberships that you have. You just launched a new one. So tell us about that, and then tell us about the VIP membership. And then maybe I can twist your arm and, maybe there's a free spreadsheet that you could share with people. Because when they see your spreadsheets, they're going to feel like I do. It's like, oh my goodness, not only is it beautiful, it solves a problem. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about the memberships.
Well, this story actually has a little bit of a nugget for everybody too, that your business isn't going to be perfect when you set it up at the start. And sometimes it's better to just get started. And that's what we did. We thought we were on a path. And a few months ago, was it in January or something, we started thinking about the different people coming into our audience and what our niche is, and do we have a good flow from the low ticket items to a higher ticket item. And that's where the CEO spreadsheet was born. Spreadsheet Suite was born, which is our second mini membership that we've added, because we realized people love our sheets, they want our sheets, but maybe they're not ready to go out and be selling them, but they do have this huge need to be streamlining their business, see what their revenue is, make informed decisions based on their data, all of that. So we put the CEO spreadsheet suite together, which just launched this Monday, actually, which is these mini projects, monthly projects, kind of sheet by sheet steps to take you to where you want to go with your business, to getting it organized so that like Debbi said, you can have that part-time work for full-time income over the time.
Yes.
So that's our one mini. And then the VIP membership has a lot more included support for creating and selling spreadsheets, as well as that vault full of, I think we have over 400 products right now for people to choose from. And I guess that's also where the CEO spreadsheet comes in handy, because our VIPs have those spreadsheets, but now they can pop over to the CEO spreadsheet suite and, follow an organized system for putting those spreadsheets in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really excited when you announced the CEO segment, because again, most entrepreneurs are coming to the online space from someplace else. They probably worked in corporate or the academic world or whatever, and they're very good at what they do, but it takes a while to put on that CEO hat, right? Because before you just did what other people told you, and you might have had a glimpse, but then you jump into this world, and not only are you the business owner and the creator and the marketer, you need that CEO vision and the tools to grow, to really scale your business. So when you came out with that, I thought that's perfect, because it's like in a box, CEO in a box. Here's the tools that you need. And I'm all about the simplicity that, if you're just needing tools to run your business, then this mini membership, I think, will be perfect for people. Yeah. So go ahead.
There's a lot of products out there nowadays online, right? You can find templates, you can find stuff for free, you can find, there's so much information that, again, it's, our brains are so like overwhelmed with everything. And then I lost my train of thought. But it's like you want, okay, that's okay, I'm back. You have all the products, right? You have all the tools, you have all of the spreadsheets, you have all of the Canva templates, you have all of the PDFs, you have all the ebooks. But if you just download, you're gonna have a drive full of stuff that you don't know what to do with it. And that's where the CEO comes into place, right? We have all of those spreadsheets done for you in the VIP vault, but then we notice that people would come in and be like, what do I do with them? There's so many. I don't know what to choose from. I don't know where to start. So you're like, okay, then let's backtrack a bit. Here's a little path, step by step, of what you have to do. So not only we give you the tool, but we teach you the systems to implement the tool, right? That's the key. You have to implement, right? We all have downloaded so much stuff online that, we're just, I don't know. I've bought so many courses and stuff online that I've never even opened.
Yeah.
Like,
So the implementation is like the key component. We're all knowledge junkies, we're forever students, but it's actually implementing
Yeah.
and condensing it. Let's just take what you need for your business. So I think that's going to be awesome. So I'll put links below if anybody's interested. The CEO, what's the price of that? The
Oh,
CEO. Yeah.
we'll go with the regular price is $9 per month, but there's a special offer right now for $5 for the founding members if you want to do
Oh
it before
my
the end
goodness.
of the month. So
What?
yeah.
$5 a month? Anybody listening? You guys
Even
need
at $9 is like a crazy steal, but yeah.
absolutely. Yes. And then the VIP membership, what is the price point of that?
That one's sitting at $47 per month at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. And it again, if you're kind of new to the world with these memberships, it's like no contract, if you're in for a couple months and then you're away from business for a while, whatever it is. But of all of the memberships, and I'm saying this purely from my heart, Spreadsheetables, the VIP is like it's my happy place. I just have to say that. I love it. I love what you gals are doing. And I haven't jumped into the CEO to get my hands on those products, but I try to have like a mini list of tools. I'm going to do a quick little plug for Go High Level. That's the main marketing tool that I use. And of course, everybody uses Canva. But then if somebody's, needing to really jumpstart or streamline their business, my recommendation is the products, the memberships that you gals have, because it will just get you to the point of where you need it. So
Yeah.
I think
The
it's awesome.
thing
So, go
The
ahead.
thing I love about VIP is actually the community because it is filled with action takers, which like it blows my mind. One woman had joined a couple months ago and she's got like 400 sales on Etsy now in her
Probably like
spreadsheet
down
shop.
to 600 or something. She's like,
Yeah.
"Why?"
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people using them for lead magnets and making sales and putting them with presentations and joining bundles with these products. So it's really cool to see them being able to grow their business and use something super valuable that they can offer their customers. So
Yes.
it's exciting.
Well, again, just to kind of recap, first of all, thank you for giving me your time today. And for those that are watching or listening, I hope this is encouraging to everyone that, one, go after your passion. Two, don't listen to all of the noise out there, stick with it. Three, don't be afraid to pivot where necessary. Doesn't mean chasing every shiny object, but look at what you're trying to accomplish. Is it working? Is it not? Look at your numbers. And Andrea said, if you don't know your numbers, it's not a business. That is so true. I mean, you ladies are just an inspiration to see the growth and how things have come. And of course, you're both all about systems also, which, that's my middle name. So again, thank you so much. And we'll put some links below. So if people want to sign up for it and, if they want a little sneak peek of what you have. Anything else before we close out here?
I think that's it. This has been wonderful, Debbie. Thanks so much for having us on here.
Yes. I loved hearing about the journey. So thank you so much. And I'll be in the membership. You'll see my name there for sure. Okay.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.